It begins with a girl riding on a bus, dreaming of a leprechaun asking her where the gold is. She is Leela, who soon wakes up. When she gets off the bus to wait for someone, a man arrives in a messy truck. She does not want him to bother her, but the man asks if she needs a ride. He also tells her she looks like someone he used to know. Since no one comes for her, Leela resorts to riding with the man, whose name is Ozzy. Despite being messy, he seems harmless. Inside his truck, Clover stickers decorate the dashboard. The girl tells him her mom used to live here. Ozzy guesses who she is, which is who Leela reminded him of, though she also says her mom passed away last year. Ozzy lets her know that her mother was nice to him. The man seems to know that the place they are heading has a bad history. Once they arrive at the house, Ozzy looks anxiously at the well. Leela sees this and asks if everything is okay. He tells her it is, but if it's not, she should look in the basement. This answer confuses her. She cannot ask for clarification because he leaves after saying those words. Then a girl surprises Leela with her present. Shortly after, another one appears. The first one is Katie. Rosie is the second one, who seems dedicated to getting work done. The girl appears to waste no time by going to work on the device that will provide them with water. While the three of them are inside the house, a fourth girl arrives, Meredith. She has two guys with her, Andy and Matt. Rosie, being responsible, tells her this isn't a party. She says this not only to the extra company, but also to the alcohol they brought. Katie tells Leela she used to date Andy. In the meantime, Ozzy comes back to the house to pick up the cell phone he dropped. Hearing laughter from the well prompts the man to look inside, though he does it cautiously, as if he is expecting something bad. That is exactly what happens, when water violently bursts out, splashing him considerably. While he drives away, Ozzy suffers due to what happened. He even has to stop. Something protrudes from his stomach. When he spits out a clover, he seems to know what it means, yelling out in despair. After that comes something much worse. Hands rip out from his stomach. Then comes the head of a monster. Ozzy says they got rid of him 25 years ago. Those are his last words, before the man falls with his life lost. Following that, out comes the leprechaun, a grotesque figure ready to cause havoc. He seems nothing short of rapturous by reappearing back in the world. Back at the house, Rosie's mind orients around work. Meredith's, however, centers around the opposite. Since Leela is new, the group wants to learn about her, so she starts talking about her mom having had mental health issues. As Leela talks, Matt records with a camera. She goes on to say that her mother thought monsters were trying to get her. She also got cancer. Due to such a depressing introduction, no one is capable of responding to it. Soon Leela goes to bed. While Katie is alone with Andy, they kiss. The leprechaun watches them do it through the window. Meanwhile, Leela sleeps and a drop of blood falls on her. She sees a lifeless man above her, causing her to wake up. It is morning already, though she notices the drop was not a dream. As everyone still sleeps, she enters the bottom floor. It is flooded with water. She finds the leak and tries fixing it. We see the leprechaun swimming in the water. Once Leela stops the leak, Rosie enters to stress out over all the water. Yet Leela assures her she will get rid of it. Later, the group works to advance their house. Rosie sees Meredith slacking. She gives her an attitude for that. Then Leela starts working with Matt. She looks in a mirror, perceiving a wounded Ozzy. It makes her yell out, questioning why he is there. Matt thinks she is talking to him, but she tells him she saw someone else. Matt leaves, perhaps because he thought she had a strange reaction. In the meantime, a mailman arrives to place mail in the box. Somehow the leprechaun managed to place himself inside it. So he pulls the mailman's head in, getting it stuck. He is a magical creature, being able to place his small body into even smaller spaces. After that, he uses the man's vehicle to run him over. This causes the leprechaun to rejoice in his first drawing of blood. The next scene has Leela taking a shower. The leprechaun is there to flush the toilet. Leela loses her hot water due to that, so she leaves. In her room, she thinks she saw her stuffed animal move. Looking under her bed, she finds the bottom half of it. She then sees the upper half standing in bed to frighten her. At that point, the leprechaun shows himself to her. She thinks he can't be real and strikes him. She also realizes her mom was not crazy by seeing him. The green man tells her that, long ago, he was burned. He was also placed in a well. But if a piece of a leprechaun remains, the leprechaun survives. He shows her his gold coin, wanting now to take her golden necklace. When he tries taking it, however, it burns his hand. Leela tells him her mother gave it to her for protection. After saying that, she kicks the small man. She is about to deliver more damage, but the lights give out. Katie blames Andy for their current misfortune, though Matt uses this time to start recording himself. Once he does, he hears strange sounds. Back in Leela's room, she strikes the leprechaun's head off. Yet this is not how one destroys such a magical creature. He just puts it back on, like he's putting on a hat. Matt calls out to Leela, and the leprechaun mimics her voice perfectly, telling the man she will be with him soon. Matt walks away while recording. After the green man knocks him down, he's not sure what it was. Leela comes to tell him they urgently have to leave, so she goes to search for the others. As Meredith watches Katie kiss Andy from the window, she hears someone telling a rhyme. She gets shocked by seeing the leprechaun there, though she doesn't seem scared of him. She even takes a picture of him. He lets her know that he's looking for something. Then Rosie, Matt, and Leela meet up. Leela informs them there is a leprechaun in the house. She tells them what happened to her in the bedroom, yet they don't believe her. However, Meredith comes out to say there is a dwarf in the house. To prove it, she shows them the picture she took. Following that, the leprechaun comes to Andy while he's alone. Just like Meredith, he isn't scared of the small man taking a picture with him as well. But to not be scared of him is a mistake, for the leprechaun demonstrates his unusual strength by holding Andy over his head. Shortly after, the group sees Andy being thrown a good distance. That is how they get acquainted with the leprechaun. Andy retaliates by throwing a metal cylinder full of leaves at the monster. Yet the monster just jumps on it to perform like he's in a circus. His next trick is kicking it toward the man. He files against the wall when it collides with him. Due to his impact, a solar panel slides down his way, crushing him. This scares the crew to the point of running away. They have now witnessed several bizarre happenings. They saw the most unusual being any of them had ever encountered. Where did he come from, and why is he trying to destroy them? Plus, they observed firsthand how one of their friends lost his life. The monster also made it look easy. Inside the house, Rosie hides in a closet. She cannot hide from the leprechaun, though. He is a determined individual who scares the girl upon finding her. Her response is to use a shoe to attack his head before running away. Despite her causing what looks like it could be serious damage, that is no way to destroy a leprechaun. Then Katie enters the house with Matt to find Rosie. In another room, Meredith tells Leela they should hide in the basement. Once Leela enters it, Meredith locks her in by placing a chair to barricade the door. After that, Meredith tells her to just give the monster his gold. But Leela replies they can't trust him. Meredith runs out, lying to the group that the leprechaun eliminated Leela. So they get in the car. Much to their dismay, the monster is there, waiting for them. However, Matt hits him out of the car, allowing them to escape. Afterward, Leela walks around inside the basement, where she finds a lifeless Ozzy. She talks to him, yet he can't talk back. Since his insides are falling out, Leela helps by giving him a plastic wrapping. She wants to know where the leprechaun's gold is. Ozzy points to some boxes. After finding nothing inside one, Leela finds 4 names written on the wall. One of them is Ozzy's name. There is a loose brick there that she removes. Inside, she discovers a map. Other than it saying where to find the gold, it also lists the leprechaun's strengths and weaknesses. Clovers could stop him. Then Ozzy walks through the wall, showing that he's a ghost. Next, we see the group riding away. Meredith says Leela is getting what she deserves. Hearing that, Rosie questions her wording, realizing that Leela is still alive. It upsets her that Meredith lied to them. Yet the girl says Leela is the reason all of this is happening. They have to go back for her, is what Rosie says. She even hits Meredith. At that moment, they see the leprechaun flying near them on a remote-controlled device. He gives them a scare, but they manage to make a tree branch enter his head. Normally, this would end someone without a doubt. Though since they are dealing with something inexplicable, it is unlikely he met his end. In a short time, the gang slams its car into a tree. Once they get out, they find Ozzy's truck nearby. His corpse lies not too far from them, making them approach it. Katie looks for the keys to his truck. She places her hand on them, and the leprechaun is there to step on her. She uses a stick to knock him down, yet he uses telekinesis to drop her as well. Then he takes out Ozzy's eye to place in his head because the tree branch took his away. Meredith tells him she left Leela for him, so he shouldn't lay a hand on her. It was part of their deal. The leprechaun assures her they are friends. He will do as he said he would. Though as she runs, he makes a menacing face. She starts running through a field of active sprinkler. The monster is there to use his powers to remove their tops, making the water harder to go through. Meredith questions why he's doing this, but he says he's not laying a hand on her. He's using another method to take her life. Soon enough, a metal piece flies into her, ending the girl on contact. This leaves the 3 of them to walk in the woods in fear. They find the leprechaun's drone which he was flying on. Matt thinks he can get it to work, so he stays while the 2 girls go. Meanwhile, Leela escapes from the basement through the window. She walks using the map she found. Later, we see that Matt fixed the drone. With it, he finds the leprechaun, who also happens to see it. Back to Rosie with Katie, they are lost. Leela appears there, and all 3 of them get scared. She tells them she is looking for the monster's gold. She now has the map to do it. Then the leprechaun comes to Matt, whose phone shows him there is a remote failure with the drone. It starts coming his way, because the leprechaun wants it to. The propellers soon murder him. Afterward, the 3 girls find a busted vehicle. Inside, Leela finds a pot of gold. However, it seems like a small amount to them. That is when Rosie says they cannot give it to the leprechaun, because that is not all of the gold. She found this place months ago, without knowing whose it was. Rosie depleted most of the pot for the house project. This information upsets the other 2. Leela decides they should destroy the leprechaun. Shortly after, they realize the reason why the monster didn't take Leela's necklace is that it is fool's gold. Since that material is iron pyrite, they could stop him by using iron. Leela adds 4-leaf clovers to their weapons list. The next scene has Leela standing inside the house, with a full pot of gold. Somehow the group was able to come up with a solution to fill it. The green man is there, coming to her for his gold. He starts counting the coins, and Leela slowly walks back. But he stops her with telekinesis. As he counts, he finds a tampon in the pot. It makes him flip it over, where he discovers most of the pot is full of them. Then the other 2 uncover themselves to beat the leprechaun with pillows. Leela puts her necklace on him, which starts to slowly burn the small man. They also surround him with iron, which he can't escape from. Now Katie goes to the power panel to turn on the house's power. Rosie goes to the basement to prepare Clover liquid. Alone with Leela, the monster tells her to set him free. He will grant her a wish if she does. When she says she wants nothing from him, he starts mimicking her mother's voice. He uses it to say he could bring her back to life if she lets him go. Since she loves her mom, it seems to get to her. The girl questions if she could really have her back. All she has to do is set him free, he tells her. However, she takes her necklace off instead and puts a hose in his mouth. Through it, Clover liquid enters his body. It doesn't take long for the monster to explode, with green liquid splashing everywhere. Their plan worked. They seem to have finally done some true damage. Though was it enough to permanently bring him down? Leela says they now have to get rid of all the parts of him. While the other two go to collect wood for a fire, Rosie sweeps the leprechaun's remnants. Unfortunately, a tiny leprechaun comes into being from a part. They are allowing too much time to pass without getting rid of the remain. Following that, more begin to form. Eventually, she notices the little leprechauns and starts fighting them. They retaliate with force by throwing a hammer at her. Rosie's scream allows the other two to hear her. As she prepares herself to fight even more, Rosie trips to fall on the gold shovel trophy. When the girls arrive, they find their friend's body. Moreover, they witness tiny leprechauns forming into the original one. Once he forms completely, he gets Leela stuck with the big letter U. But she sees a plan unfold before her eyes. She takes a gold coin lying near her, while Katie takes the wire out from the lamp. After that, Leela tosses the coin into the monster's hand, and Katie electrocutes the coins he stands on. The coin in his hand causes the electricity to circulate. He starts burning along with the house. The girls can't escape, so they enter the basement to exit through the window. As they are getting out, the leprechaun grabs Leela's leg, while mimicking her mom's voice again. Yet she kicks him forcefully before escaping. Running far enough away, they survive the exploding of the house. Green liquid splashes on them. As a sign of their victory, Ozzy stands there to wave at Leela, who waves back at him, though only she is capable of seeing him. After his disappearance, a man arrives to ask what happened. They don't tell him the real story, but they decide to ride with him. We see the hat of the leprechaun is still intact. At another time, we see he is alive, hitchhiking to go to Bismarck, because that's where Rosie said the rest of his gold is located. Despite all of the group's efforts to bring him down, he looks unharmed. A truck full of chickens stops to pick him up. He plans to collect his gold, and nothing can stop him from that.